Good Wednesday afternoon, church family and friends. Pastor Sam here in this lovely rose garden on the shores of the beautiful Pamlico River, coming to you with our Bible study for tonight. Speaking of being on the shores of the river, let me share something with you this morning we found on the website. It says, ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets inside them. Moral of the story is, don't let what is happening around you get inside of you and weigh you down. What a great word for us today as we continue in our COVID-19 social distancing and our protocols for safety and well-being. So we just want to keep that in mind, not to let all the clatter and all the chatter on the outside get inside and begin to stir up and weigh us down. Our devotion for today comes to us from a really neat devotional called Jesus Calling, Enjoying Peace in His Presence. It's by Sarah Young. It's a devotion in the first person where Jesus actually is talking to Sarah on a day-to-day basis in communication, which is what I like in our relationship with the Lord. But let me share, it begins like this. Let me teach you thankfulness. You know, you may remember last week we talked about gratefulness, and gratefulness being the gateway to joy. Thankfulness ties right in with that. It says, begin by acknowledging that everything, all your possessions, and all that you are belongs to me. The dawning of each new day is a gift from me, not to be taken for granted. The earth is vibrantly alive with my blessings, giving vivid testimony to my presence. As we look around here today, we can certainly sense that. If you slow down your pace of life, you can find me anywhere. Some of my most precious children have been laid aside in sick beds or shut away in prisons. Others have voluntarily learned the discipline of spending time alone with me. The secret of being thankful is learning to see everything from my perspective. My word is your classroom. My word is a lamp unto your feet and a light to your path. What an interesting devotion for today. I want to go back and go through this maybe and take it line by line and share some things with you. It starts out by saying that we're to acknowledge that everything, all of our possessions, all that we are, comes from God, belongs to me, it says. We spend most of our lives accumulating things around us, now don't we? And we create our treasure chests. The only problem is that none of that actually belongs to us. We're blessed in the accumulation of things that we have so that we can share them with others. It says, the earth is vibrantly alive with my blessings, giving vivid testimony to my presence. Well, that's what we've been talking about all this time, is being outdoors and taking a little time to draw near to God through God's great creation. It says we have been forced to slow down our pace. And so what are we doing with the time that we have? What are we doing with all the time that we have? I don't know about you, but Lucy and I were at Lowe's not too long ago, and there were so many people in there you could hardly breathe. People are planting plants and doing outdoor things. How many of us are taking time to draw closer to God by getting into the Word and spending some private time with our Lord? This line really caught my attention. It says, the secret of being thankful is learning to see everything from my perspective, from God's perspective. How do we understand and learn and know God's perspective? I understand Lucy's perspective in just about everything because of the time that we have spent together. We've communicated, we know one another, we've spent time and we've listened and we've talked and we've had communication. It's the same way with God. In order to understand God's perspective, we must get in the Word, we must take the time, spend time in the Word, spend time in prayer and in communication with our Lord, and seek Him at all times and in all ways. Be hungering and thirsting after righteousness, and God will reveal Himself to us, and we will know. One of the scriptures for this comes to us from Psalm 119 and verse 105. It says, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light for my path. Or is it? Is it really? Or do we follow our own light and follow our own pathways? That is the question. Are we slowing down and allowing God to reveal Himself to us that we might walk in His path rather than creating our own paths out of our own knowledge and our own sense of self-reliance? Are we surrendering everything to God? And our final thought is, let's use our time wisely. We've been given this opportunity. Things have slowed down, our pace has slowed down, so let's use this time wisely, church, to seek God in all things, to spend time in the Word, to pray, to not only speak, but to listen, and be hungering and thirsting for righteousness in all things, and take the time to feast, on His Word. I hope this has been uplifting to you today, and hope that you're doing well and that your day is as bright as ours is here. And know that we love you. We're praying for you. We want us to continue to pray for our first responders and those out there on the front lines, praying for our officials, praying for our country in every possible way. So we love you, and we'll see you next time. Be blessed.